Welcome to my podcast. My name is Nichel Anderson. This is my podcast entitled Nichel Anderson Short Stories and Beyond. This is episode 10, where it is titled Moment of Mitsrayim Final Say. So we turned back to the episodes. Last week, it was featured my director's clip, which was featuring episode 5 and episode 6. Please tune into that. Prior to that, starting on the 1st of the year, was the episode 8. In a moment, a new path is revealed. Just to touch on that, that's where we were back focusing on the 2. He was on the western part of Sudan, what we call Africa now. Pretty much on that particular episode, it just featured him finding out some more information about getting more, it seems like more supporters of their cause. So that was like right now about 2 weeks ago. Last week I did my director's clip and I was only talking about episode 5 and 6. So that particular episode that I'm talking about with Natu was considered episode 8. In a moment, a new path is revealed. And so with that one, pretty much we're still, of course, talking about some type of conflict with Mitsrayim that the Orions want to take control over. So I do encourage you to check that out. That was a clip as well. To get the full story, as I mentioned, kickoff of this new podcast, you will have to become a patron. This is considered premium content. So to get access to the full short story, you will have to become a patron. You can get that information and sign up at patreon.com. That's patron/Nichel Anderson. And the link will be in the description area of this episode for you to go and check that out and sign up and become a patron. You will get access to the short stories that have been released, that most of them pretty much are clip and snippets. And that going forward, most of them will be. At times I will release maybe a full short story, but not all the time. So go ahead and, if you support it, go ahead and become a patron. You get access to all of the stories plus rewards based on your level. So here we return back from last week where that episode, I'm just talking about the previous episodes, episode 5 and episode 6. So last week was my director's clip. That was episode 9. Now here we are going forward, returning back to the stories. And this particular episode is kicking off where we are showing another scene. I'm showing another scene where we left off when we finally get to hear King Mahlon and see the family reunited. Princess Hannah finally realizes and sees her father, and they spend a special moment. Then there's a new character that's on the scene. His name is Tesnar. It's only a few people, like I said, have been saying that knows about King Mahlon's status, where he's at. He's in a secret location in the palace. And so at that particular time, Tesnar did mention to Queen Hagar and King Mahlon that the Orions is there. Where this scene comes forward, in a sense, talking about the Mitsrayim final say. So she's making a statement to these Orions and other tribal leaders. It seems like it's very important because everybody seems to be there in this moment. So this is a good scene for you to tune into and to become a patron to get the full short story. This will be a clip. So as we continue the story of MOLIAE, which is ancient Egypt, pretty much Kemet, and it's from my book Mitsrayim, a memoir. Let's get started with this episode 10, entitled Moment of Mitsrayim Final Say. For my podcast, Nichel Anderson, Short Stories and Beyond. Let's get started. Opening scene. In the grand hall of the Veni room, it is Queen Hagar that stands in the center of 12 Mitsrayim Elders of Advisors and 30 royal Estim guards of Mitsrayim. The elders of advisors are seated halfway around her as she is facing 3 different tribal leaders from the south of the Sudan, along with 2 High Council Orions Military of the council members that were allowed to be in the Mitsrayim ruling room. They were only allowed to bring 5 of their military guards in the Royal Governing Hall of Veni in Mitsrayim. The golden doors were closed as fellow Mitsrayims out in the entrance of the palace received word that a final say of Mitsrayim stand was imminent by the Queen. As the Orions arrived into Mitsrayim to hear the say, the final say of Mitsrayim, it was Hectic and Mahlon of the Orions present without the others, such as Natu, already assigned to a far region by their highest leader. Hectic and Mahlon spoke up first as the meeting was designated to start by the Queen nodding for Mitsrayim Royal Scribe to start writing forward. Hectic spoke first in Mitsrayim language before switching to Sumerian cuneiform. Hekna sama semana simu Queen Hagar gananafu wasamin Veni. Translation: Honor is thus here before Queen Hagar. Good thinkings to you and Mitsrayim Council. Queen Hagar responds in his language that surprised Hectic and Mahlon. Se nakom wasu ilafikin waduna bevana mulafa ofit Mitsrayim. Translation: Yes, and anew we will see your honor before Mitsrayim. Hectic and the rest of his group nods before the Queen and wait for her next response. She starts to walk around, eyeing each of the Mitsrayim members of the High Council. That concludes this week's clip only snippet, this week's episode short story. If you want to get the whole complete short story, it is under my paid patron program on my Patreon page, located at www.patreon.com, that's patreon.com/Nichel Anderson, that I have been communicating from the last several weeks for the launch of my new podcast, that this is premium content. To get the full short story, you will have to become a patron to get that access. And these clips is to show you, as I showed you previously, that I have been communicating from the last several weeks for the launch of this new podcast, Nichel Anderson, Short Story and Beyond. It will publish every week on Mondays starting this season 1 for 2017 to 2018. I hope you like my stories, and I encourage you to sign up to be a patron. You can cancel anytime and get the full access to these short stories, not just the clips that I release weekly, but you get the whole complete story plus rewards at the different pay levels. And again, you can cancel anytime. So thank you for tuning in this week to my podcast, Nichel Anderson, Short Stories and Beyond. So long.